Honestly, it's caring a lot about people and reinvesting into them. And honestly, a lot of the agents become my friends. My entire social circle is almost entirely real estate agents. And so I build my life around my business. And so there's really no such thing as balance. And when you really enjoy who you work with, then it makes it a lot more fun.
Welcome back to Good Better Broker as we bring in Courtney Crowder. She is the broker owner of Phoenix Lending Group based in Scottsdale, Arizona. Courtney, great to have you here.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
So a bit about you, Courtney. You started in the business back in 2017 and you've been building this team, which you now have a 10-person team. And this year, 2025, it's already your best year in the industry. You've done over 140 units with still some time to go. So clearly you've built a lot of momentum. And before we talk about current things, Courtney, I want to take you back because you started in the industry working at the front desk of a brokerage. And then from there, you became a relationship manager. How did those experiences pave the way for your business today?
Honestly, I've seen every facet of this business. Whenever I got started, I actually labeled the documents for the other loan officers. I would say, this is your 2016 tax return, so that they could more simply upload to underwriting. And then I worked into being a processor and then ultimately got licensed and started as a loan officer and then relationship manager. I found that I was really good at trying to figure out kind of how to properly match agents, seeing what they wanted, what would be best suitable for their business, and then ultimately was able to take that on and create my own business with the skills I developed there. So I'm really grateful for that brokerage.
When you were figuring out how to pair agents with LOs, what are some of the things that stood out to you?
Honestly, it's really personality based. If you have an agent that, is working with a borrower and you feel very similarly to their agent and they like their agent, they're probably going to like you too. And the whole situation is going to go seamlessly if everyone feels and vibes very similarly.
And you told me that you actually treat your business like a real estate agent treats theirs. What do you mean by that?
I think agents are incredible. Agents market to everyone. The whole, community could be their clients. We're really lucky. We're just marketing to agents and financial advisors predominantly. So I used a lot of what I see successful agents do and implement that into my business. So I do pop buys, I do mailers, I do events. Anything that I've seen an agent do that I've liked, I've kind of emulated, and it's been really successful for me.
I would say so, because you told me you have 80 different agents, and I want to make sure that people hear that correctly. 80 who refer you business.
Over the past 12 months.
How have you gotten to that point?
Honestly, it's caring a lot about people and reinvesting into them. And honestly, a lot of the agents become my friends. My entire social circle is almost entirely real estate agents. And so I build my life around my business. And so there's really no such thing as balance. And when you really enjoy who you work with, then it makes it a lot more fun.
There are lots of different ways that LOs can support their realtor partners. How are you supporting your partners in ways that you believe are most meaningful and most impactful on your business?
Yeah, all loan officers, or all good loan officers, I should say, do a great job in the transaction. They, meet the client's expectations, close fast, have great service and rates. But there's something else that I feel is a little bit unique for me, where I champion and cheerlead for my agents. I want to see them win so badly. Some agents will tell me, oh, I'm so sorry, I have to use another lender on this one because they sent me the deal. And I'm thrilled for them because I want them to grow their business.
Social media is a big part of your approach, Courtney. And you said that, the relationships with agents can actually be built and developed through social media. So tell us how that works for you.
For me, I would say a lot of the development piece comes from social proof. If I have an agent where we have a great transaction, they'll throw on their Instagram, a kudos or congratulations, and other people see that and it creates a ripple effect for me. And then as far as, just cultivating the relationships, that's a place where I can champion and cheerlead for my partners, pretty well, because they'll say under contract, pending, I have this listing, and it's really about my community.
You were saying that you have, strong relationships with some of your agents, and many of them are your friends personally. And I would think that helps them refer you to clients that they think you would be a good fit for. So tell us, Courtney, what kind of client are you a good fit for?
So again, as all LOs will say, they will work with everyone. I've worked with down payment assistants, minimum wage purchasers, and I've worked with professional athletes and executives. So the gamut's, wide there, but really everyone has something that they can speak to based on their individual story. So for me, my mom had me when she was 17 years old, and she purchased her first home in her early 20s. I was in kindergarten, and it was so cool to see. And ultimately, she ended up marrying my little sister's dad, and had a great life and turned that property into an investment for herself. And it's phenomenal to have seen from my perspective. I was so proud of her. And then now I'm a single mom, and I purchased my own home by myself, and I've created equity and built net worth in it. So I can speak very clearly to single women, or even just, female heads of household who are the predominant breadwinner. So I think that that's kind of my unique niche within the market.
Yeah, to that end, you were saying that over 30% of your business at this point is represented by single women. So obviously you can relate to them,
yes,
being a single mom yourself or a single woman yourself. But tell us about those conversations and how you're able to kind of make them feel comfortable.
1974 is when the Equal Credit Opportunity Act was passed. So it's only been since then that women have been able to purchase homes by themselves. So it's something that I think is really empowering. And again, kind of going back to that champion and cheerleading, it's something that I have a fire inside me to help women build wealth. And women are, phenomenal. They're outpacing single men in owning real estate. So it's something that I just find really exciting, and I'm eager to help with.
As busy you are with business, do you ever have a moment to reflect back on the impact of your personal experiences, going back to, like you said, your mom's journey to getting a home, and how it kind of has led you to the point where you are in your business today?
Yeah, it's pretty emotional for me. I actually had a client write me a note that it's framed now. She said that purchasing her home changed her life, and it changed the life for her children and the generations to come. And she said she would have never done that if it weren't for me, and making her feel like it was possible and creating loan scenarios that made that possible for her.
Doesn't get much better than that, and that's super cool that you have that framed. Let's talk about some of the different networking groups that you are leveraging in your area, and specifically women's groups. Mm-hmm. What's your strategy?
So it's interesting because I actually joined this women's group before I was in mortgage. It's just something that felt very aligned to me. It's called Fresh Start Women's Foundation, and they are a cause who really help women with their next step, no matter what that next step is. It could be, coming out of an abusive relationship. It could be, filing for divorce and coming into that next step of their life. They help them with everything from social work, financial planning, really the whole gamut, finding new careers and aligning them with the training that they need to get into that new career. I met some of my top real estate partners on this board, and then now I have a community around me that I take to their events. So every year we go to the nonprofit event, and that's one of my core pillars of my business, is really bringing my community in to support a cause that I care a lot about.
With all these people that and all these people that you're connected with, not just agents, but other people involving, finance, how do you keep track of it all? Because I'm sitting here listening to you talk about all these people that you have, and we already mentioned how many agents refer your business. How do you make sure you're staying, on top of all of them and staying in touch with them and making sure that when an opportunity for business may arise?
I think that's my superpower. I think relationships are my superpower. So it's something where I think it's cliche in some ways, but I really do just care. I care a lot about them. I care about what's going on with their kids. I care about what's going on with their business. And so that, just constant reminder to check in. My business partner, we train LOs, and he says you need to have, X number of conversations per day. I'm like, I don't really track mine. And he's like, yeah, but you're always on the phone. So it's just organic to me.
You're always on your phone for good reasons, unlike other people when it's just doom scrolling. You're actually reaching out, checking in on people. All right, it makes sense.
Phone calls and text messages.
Hey, it's a big part of it. You also, so we just talked about the events that you attend. You also put on events yourself. Tell us about those and the impact they've had on your business.
Yeah, so I do micro events for agents, but something that I think would be great to speak about because it's something any loan officer can do. We do large events. We have a series called Create Your Own Economy, and we'll invite hundreds of agents to this. We'll bring in speakers, and sometimes we'll just have leaders in the community speak, and they take away so much value from it. So we have a coach who comes in and talks about mind, money, mindset type of things. We have people who literally share their entire playbook with agents and how they've built a $57 million annual business. Really a large gamut of speakers, and something that I think a lot of agents take a lot away from.
It's smart, and again, it's just like connecting with more people too. I mean, if you're actually organizing an event, you can kind of dictate who's coming, and I'm sure in some cases you're trying to get people there that maybe aren't sending you as much business as you would like.
Yeah, we invite a lot, and it's the one-to-many. So you ask about the relationship piece. The one-to-one is awesome, but that takes your time. If you can speak one-to-many, then you touch a lot more people in the same amount of time.
You believe it's actually okay, and you know, we were talking about your numbers this year and all the people that you work with, but you believe it's okay to say no to business sometimes.
I do.
In what situations is that okay?
So whenever I was getting started, I was like most LOs. I wanted to work with any real estate agent who would send me business. And then quickly I realized that some agents took a lot more time than I was actually getting reciprocal value from. So if they're, needy, non-compliant, or I would say just difficult to work with, not personality fits, I'll try to pair them with someone on my team to make the handoff a little bit easier. But it's really okay to say no, because saying no to one thing is opening up doors for saying yes to many more opportunities.
Have you had some interesting reactions in the past when you've had to say no to some people?
Yes, because no one ever really expects that. They expect that, loan officers want all of the business, but not all business is good business.
Well said. We didn't mention this earlier when we were kind of talking about the different real estate agents and people that you work with, but you are the preferred lender for multiple brokerages in your market.
Yeah.
How much work has taken to get to that point?
It's been very natural. So my business partner was aligned with a brokerage whenever we joined forces, and we cultivated that relationship beautifully. That brokerage sold, and we were very fortunate to come in under the new brokerage name as one of the two preferred partners. And then there's one of my really dear friends has started a brokerage with a new partner who has also become a great friend of mine. It's all female, so how aligned is that? And it really doesn't take a lot of work for me, because it's something I enjoy. These are my best, closest friends.
You're making it sound so easy, and I want to make sure people understand you have put in a lot of work to get this to this point.
Grit and grind are the cornerstone of everything that's happened. It's a lot of hours. There was a running joke that happy hour Courtney had a laptop out, and I would be multitasking, enjoying time with my friends and also getting things done, especially in the 2021 era. There was a lack of sleep, as Matt will always preach. That was happening. It was a 6 to 7 hour night sleep, heavy on the grind, also trying to be, a present, awesome mom to my son. So yeah, I would say grit and grind are at the cornerstone. The rest of it started to happen naturally after those relationships were made.
So when you are talking with other LOs who hear about your vast network of agents and all of the agents that send you business, what is the number one piece of advice you would give to them about how they can try to build out something similar?
What worked for me, whenever I started working with an agent that I really enjoyed working with, I would ask them, do you have anyone in your office you think I would be a good fit for? And that just handoff was so simple and easy. And then I would create communities within that network to where, we would all go out to a group happy hour, again, that one-to-many moment, so that I could see all of them in a shorter duration of time.
Okay, so there it is. The playbook is there, folks. All you got to do is listen to it and implement it yourself. It was great chatting with you, Courtney, and to hear a little bit about your story and all the success you're having. And we wish you nothing but more great things to come. Courtney Crowder from Phoenix Lending Group, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified about new videos, as well as your preferred podcast platform for a new episode every other Tuesday.